loss of 1 wicket in the latest session that we had. But guess what? We didn't even have proper 3 sessions on this opening day of the Kanpur Test match. Early stumps, and that's why we are here much earlier than you thought we would be. Having a chat with you. There's not a lot of cricket, unfortunately, to talk about. We've been giving you constant updates. 107 for 3, 2 wickets being lost in the opening session. Then we saw an extended sort of a break there because of rain intervention. Play then resumed, after which India did pick up 1 wicket. It came courtesy Ravichandran Ashwin. Nazmul Hussain Shanto was trapped right in front of the stumps. India had their moment of rejoice, but after that the rain came and it didn't stop, and as we speak the rain continues to pour in Kanpur. Shashwat here right alongside me will be giving you proper in-depth information about what is it that you
exactly. I was going to get to that only. There was a reason why I was on my phone, because our weatherman is on and off, so somebody needs to keep a track of the weather. So tomorrow also it doesn't look any bright, like in the we did a weather forecast video yesterday also, I did it. So all 3 days, tomorrow is the maximum chance of rain, in the sense that today it was 90%, tomorrow it's supposed to be 100%, and day after tomorrow it's again 90 odd percent, or maybe today was 93%. So out of the 3 days when rain is expected, tomorrow is the most likely chance of the maximum rain. And if you just look at it hour-wise also for tomorrow, I'll just start from, firstly, all throughout the night there is going to be rain continuously. There are more likely 30 to 50% chances on and off that you will see constant rain. But when the match will begin, it should begin at 9 AM, because you lost time just to cover up that time instead of 9:30. Even if you try for a half an hour start before the scheduled time, which you usually do to make up lost time, that also chances look really bleak, because 9 AM firstly you'll have a thunderstorm with 51% chance of rain. Then at 10 AM again you have a thunderstorm, 51 chance of rain. 11 AM 47% chance of rain, but this thunderstorm would have stopped. So maybe like today, even if it was predicted, you might not see rain, but till 11 AM there is constant thunderstorm. Then 11, 12, 1 PM constant rain, but it's mostly cloudy. So if we are lucky enough, we could sort of squeeze out a few overs out of that time also. But then 2 PM also again same cloudy, 3 PM cloudy, 4 PM cloudy, chances of rain the same, 50 to 45 to 50%. 5 PM is when you will definitely have rain, because again you have a thunderstorm, 52% chance of rain. Then also
no cricket tomorrow.
Effectively no cricket. Somehow, like today, you managed around 40 overs, if I'm not wrong, 40 or 35 35 odd overs. So that's what in the video I did yesterday also I thought about seeing the chances that you might just be able to see a session at max today and tomorrow also. I think if you're very lucky, you might get to see a full session in bits and pieces, but overall I don't think that's going to happen. So 3 days there were very less chances. That's why I think this match you'll just be able to see 3 days of cricket. Why 3 days? I'm saying 2 days of cricket. The last 2 days
doesn't even got a proper 1.5
Yeah,
day.
that's what I'm saying. The first 3 days I'm just accumulatedly I'm saying 1 day. The first 3 days of the test match, day 1, 2 and 3, and 4 and 5 you might get to see a full day, because there are very less chances of rain.
So Shashwat suggesting that over 3 days,
Yeah.
we see in all about 90 overs of play.
Yeah,
We've
exactly.
seen 36.
Yeah.
We've seen 35 right now.
Yeah.
We're expecting another 55.
Yeah. In the next 2 days.
In the next 2 days.
Yeah.
Now that is not even 2 sessions. That's little less than 2 sessions.
Yeah, just 5 overs, 5-7 overs, less than
Exactly.
2 sessions.
So that's how bleak it is as it gets when it comes to the weather forecast. Things not looking very bright, quite literally, over there in Kanpur. However, we did see 107 runs scored. We did see 2 bowlers pick up wickets. We did see 2 bowlers not pick up wickets. So let's just try and spend time on what we saw in these 35 overs of play. India opted.
Just sorry to interrupt. Just before getting to that, I just wanted to know, because you have more knowledge about the WTC standings that exactly. How is this going to actually see India? We know what the situation is going to be like for India. You need to win. Definitely one chance India might end up losing to win one test match. Otherwise, it would have been 2 out of 2. There were highly chances. But how big an impact will this leave on Bangladesh's chances? Because Bangladesh also, after that Pakistan series, were definitely just sort of
They were
there.
placed fourth.
Yeah.
They were
If I'm not
placed
wrong,
fourth
they
and
could afford just one loss.
Yeah,
Right?
so I'll tell you, like, I'll tell you about both the teams. So, in case of, I think, let's just begin with India here. So, irrespective of the result of this match, India from here on need a total of 5 wins and 4 more wins and 1 draw. Or if you're not able to secure 4 more wins, then you need 3 wins and as many draws. So, it's a there are 2 permutation combinations here: 4-1, 3-3. That's what India would be looking for.
No. So just to be more clear, even if you one test match, you have won. Okay. Now you need to win 4, and if you just win 4 test matches and you're not able to draw one, then you're not making it to the final. It's not just
Then
the 4 test
you
matches.
would have to rely on other results.
Okay.
Basically, then your fate would not be in your own hands. But if you win 4 and lose only 1, or you win 3 and draw the same number of matches, then your fate would pretty much be in your hands.
If you end up winning 4 test matches out of the next 7, and you end up losing the
not
other
7, 8.
3 plus
5
5,
and 3.
yeah, 8,
Yeah.
and you end up winning 4 and losing 4, then you're saying that your fate will be in others' hands.
Yeah, definitely. It's not going to be in your hands. But what it does is that for Bangladesh Bangladesh cannot afford any more losses from here on. So if this is a draw, then for Bangladesh the situation is very clear. They have to win their remaining 4 matches. 2
If
against
this doesn't end up,
2 against South Africa, and 2 are going to be against, if I'm not forgetting, it's going to be against West Indies. So South Africa is going to be in a home series,
Yes.
and West Indies is going to be an away series. But then there are also doubts over whether South Africa-Bangladesh series will take place or not, because Cricket South Africa are yet to receive, security clearance on that.
and if
front.
they end up winning all 4 test matches, if all goes as per plan, they'll just straight
They'll
away
be
into the
pretty
final.
much into the final, pretty much, yes.
Yeah, now we can get to the game that what we have seen. I just wanted to know the WTC situation. Yeah, I just wanted to understand how the rain will affect the WTC
No, I've
standard.
done a separate video on that also, and there's going to be another
Also,
video.
again,
that
just
will
the
be
first
done,
day,
yeah.
so I'm not worried about how things are to go by. Again, one thing with India, is that they're the team with the most number of games left. So there's still time and fate very much remains in India's hands. And again, still the first day, and yes, if ideally for India, you don't want to be reliant too much on what is to happen down under. You want to be seeing as much as far as WTC is concerned here in India. You do well in this test match in the next 3. That's job pretty much done. You could leave yourself with a scenario that maybe just 2 out of 5 wins in Australia and you're good. There could be that scenario as well.
But provided that, let's say if this match ends in a draw, then you'll have to make sure that you win all 3 against New Zealand.
And then you'll have to win 1 there also.
But again, there's still plenty of time left. It's just the first day. Things become real of a real concern. Let's say day 3, day 4, if you've not seen any, not even 1 innings for that matter, because then this particular match heads towards a draw.
Yeah.
And in that case, points get shared. How that impacts the standings, that is something. But again, it's still a couple of days left for us to explore all those permutation combinations.
Yeah.
However, we saw 4 bowlers. Akashdeep, the most bowled Indian bowler, 10 overs for him, 2 wickets, well deserved.
Absolutely, I think he deserved maybe a couple of more wickets, but then you have to give credit to the Bangladesh batters also here, that something that we witnessed in the opening test in Chennai also, that when it came to those back of the length deliveries which were usually angled into the right-handed batters or into the left-handed batters, they were playing with very hard hands as far as the outside edges are concerned. But today I think we have to give them credit for the fact that the edges obviously did not carry also, but then they played it with soft hands. So obviously there has been that necessary course correction. But then as I said, I told to Bhalla also when we were doing the other live when bad light stop play, that the figures are not really going to show how the wickets column is actually not going to show how well the Indian bowlers bowled. I think it was all the spells, I think specifically from Bumrah, Ashwin, and for that matter even Akashdeep also, I think they were right on the money from the word go. Like, you can hardly pinpoint a delivery or a 2 wherein you can say that maybe they let their guard down for a while and were going for runs or something like that. But it was only Mohammad Siraj who looked a bit wayward. But then rest, I think India's bowling was very much on the mark, and had those outside edges carried, things could have been very different. Bangladesh could have been very well down 107 for 5 also. So yeah, that's the thing.
You speak about fast bowling. I know somebody who's watching this match from the stands, and I just happened to see his Instagram story. It said test match. No, it said whites, red cherry, Bumrah steaming in, test match at its very best. And that's how much the crowd over there enjoyed that opening spell of Jasprit Bumrah as well. I think it was unfortunate that he wasn't rewarded with a wicket, but he came so close on multiple occasions, and just Jasprit Bumrah doing Jasprit Bumrah things. He worked like clockwork. He was again a breath of fresh air in that Indian bowling, looked menacing, and was always there. You thought that this would be the delivery. Every ball basically out of his hand looked like a wicket-taking delivery, barring a few here and there. But otherwise, he was bowling in the right channel, and you wanted to see more of him as conditions were to his liking. It was cloudy. He was getting a little bit of movement off the surface to begin with as well, angling the ball away from the left-hander. That's what he did so beautifully. So I was excited to see more of him as the day wore on. Maybe an Akashdeep as well. He's genuinely somebody who's making me happy when it comes to somebody so young in his test career. The way that he bowls, he's a delight to watch as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, overall I'm pleased with what I saw from the Indian bowlers. Yes, of course, if there was another couple of wickets, you would have felt that that decision to bowl first really paid off. However, you didn't sort of see enough match time as well. You only seen 35 overs, and there's a delayed start, and then the same interruption came in. So hopefully tomorrow when the Indian team come back, and if there is any play possible, you do see those wickets tomorrow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Your thoughts, Ashwat?
See, again, I feel that we have seen this much test match that I feel that you should have gone with an extra spinner. I still feel that. No, I feel that I still feel that because the reason for that, again, we talked about that earlier also. But Akashdeep again.
We've seen one spinner bowl.
Yeah.
Maximum, again, not just the same number of overs as Akashdeep.
Yeah.
He has 1 wicket.
Yeah.
Akashdeep has 2.
But Akashdeep is also expensive. Then we have to have a look at that also. Jasprit Bumrah,
3.4.
No, then again 3.4 in a test match I'd consider, as compared to Ashwin at least. He's been a little expensive.
3.4 is expensive.
No, it's not expensive, but yeah, it's not even economical bowling in a test match.
But I'll take it. I'll take it. Anyhow, I'm just
saying, this is the case with fast bowlers. Now, when you are going for wickets, you are going to leak a few runs, and out of these 34, I think we really have to also take into consideration the number of outside edges that went for boundaries. There were at least about 8 to 12 runs out of that.
No, that's just a couple of boundaries then.
But that makes it, about 8 or 12 runs now, which makes the figures to around 24, 25, which is still
no. But again, we cannot. Again, Gulati sir, we cannot. That is again ifs and buts. If that again, I feel that. But okay,
see, my only point was that numbers are never going to show how well the Indian bowlers bowled. That's the thing.
I still feel again you could have batted. Okay, you went with this team combination. That's fine. You wanted to carry forward this winning combination. I think you should have batted first, because then again, I'll tell you why. You knew that the test match is not going to last for more than 3 days. All in all, it's not going to last for more than 3 days. So your best chance is to bat out once and be done with it, and then try to get the opposition out in 2 innings of theirs, and you do not get to bat again. That would have been a great opportunity if you would have come out to bat. You would have scored, say, by the end of these 2 days, about 400 odd runs, and then in a day or a day and a half time, you would have sort of went after them twice. And that's where I would have, again, why I wanted 3 spinners, that's the reason I wanted 3 spinners. Because what I'm thinking here is that seeing the conditions, to begin with, the conditions would have been a little hard for the Indian batters, definitely. But again, like the Bangladeshi batters, if they would have played those 10 overs, then it would have been...
My question to you being, then going by your calculation, 90 overs you expect for the first 3 days?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's only 90 minutes that this pitch would have, last
Yeah, yeah.
no sun, only 90 overs of play. How much do you see the spinners coming into play on day 4?
On day 4,
Yeah,
I
it's 90 overs is all this pitch would have seen.
yeah,
Constant exposure to moisture,
yeah,
rain, no sun at all.
yeah.
How much of it do you see breaking down enough?
No,
pieces?
no. Then it would not have broken down. But you know what would have happened, because the wicket would have been covered and there would have been constant rain on that wicket also. Then what? And in 90 overs, you would have seen some amount of footmarks also. What that would have done is, if fast bowlers, it would not as much as it would have helped
That's
the fast
effectively
bowler.
saying that on day 2 you're expecting things to spin.
No.
Because,
it's-
yeah, 90
but
overs
then
you
but
see
then
the
you'll also the spinners would also be getting that the same amount of juice as much as the fast bowlers will get. And also you have seen uneven bounce on this
So
wicket
you're
because
saying this pitch
of the
has enough that second day, if there was no play, that tomorrow only it would have started to spin.
No,
Yeah, because
it won't
effectively-
spin. I'm not see again. As per my calculations, 90 overs you would have seen the spinners coming into play when India would have come out to sort of get rid of them twice. In the first innings itself, I feel the spinners would have gotten that help by you would have gotten that the juice and the moisture on the wicket and uneven bounce. That would have even helped the spinners, was what I'm trying to say. Fast bowlers, yeah, it will help, but it would have equally helped the spinners, and spinners would have looked much more deadly. That's what we have seen with Ashwin also. He's looked dangerous. He's been also asking questions to the Bangladeshi batters in that sense, and that's why I would have wanted the Indian team to bat first. Then it would have been much easier to break it down for yourself. You would have come out, gotten 350, 400 odd runs in your 90 overs in across these 3 days, and then sort of gone after them and sort of gotten rid of them twice. I just feel that you sort of went and bowled first because maybe, and then your batters
I on
also,
the
and we also
contrary-
talked about.
I, on the contrary, feel that I think the idea was that, listen, this pitch again, there's runs over here anyway, and but the best bowling conditions, again making use of the overcast conditions, because I know the forecast for 3 days.
Yeah.
These are the best bowling days. Otherwise, bowlers will have to bend their back. So let me make the most out of these bowling conditions. I back myself to bat big the one time that I do, and then I return and I then clean up Bangladesh once again. I think this was the thinking behind India opting not only that additional seamer but also to bowl first as well. And I think if I were the captain of this side, I think my decision would exactly be the same. If I'm assured of 3 days of cloud cover and an Akashdeep who's bowling that well, or Jasprit Bumrah who's looking on song, I think I would have wanted to give them these conditions.
Yeah.
No, but then for your batters, and when they would have come out to bat, the condition would have been equally testing.
It would have eased by then. It would have eased by then, because I on day 1, day 2, whatever, one and a half day, I've cleaned them up in the first day itself, or maybe a day and a half's play. Of course, there's at some point I'm expected to bat, right? I can't make the opposition bat twice. So there will be a point in over 3 days how you will have to bat at some point during those 3 days, na? But going by the forecast, if the forecast is expected to ease after the 3rd day, then I'm looking at myself batting a certain point over those days, and maybe in fact returning and doing and
See,
getting out
again,
to go by end of day 3 again.
I feel
if I-
day 4 and 5 you have it's sort of a heat wave there. It's just raining out of season right now, but on day 4 and 5 you'll see proper sunlight. By day 4 and 5, I feel the wicket will sort of still then it would have sort of opened up a bit, and the spinners would be getting that help. Now they are just 3 down. If tomorrow also we sort of just have about the 30 overs of play, maybe you get them all out in that much time. Day 3 again, lots of rain. Maybe you don't get to play that much on day 3 of the test match. Then on day 4, the spinners will start getting help, and then it will end in a
No,
draw.
I have a feeling if 3 days you're only getting 90 overs, this may just end in a draw.
Yeah, possible. See, any which ways, I think we have to, focus more on the final 2 days here, because assuming, the weather is fine, which is obviously, the case for the last 2 days, you will have a total of 196 overs to be bowled, which means 98 overs per day, if the weather conditions stay fine. And that's where I think India would know that India will see going on from here, if the weather, stays like, obviously, the way Shashwat has, told every one of us, that if it stays like that, then India would know that their best chance of batting would be just on one day, which is probably going to be maybe some parts of maybe day 3
Day 3
and maybe
and
on
day
day
4,
4.
yeah.
And that's when, maybe if they, let's say bundle out Bangladesh for a low score and go on to score maybe 350 or 400, in their only day in which they bat. I think India will have only one day to bowl Bangladesh out then.
Yeah, exactly. No, and then don't you think this factor of the combination you have played it will go against you? You know why? Because Ashwin is somebody, then you will sort of be left with just Ashwin, because Jadeja again will not be that big a threat to the Bangladeshi batters because of the number of left-handers they have. On this wicket on day 5, the fast bowlers, somebody like a Siraj, and see again, Jasprit Bumrah I don't count. I think any condition he is equally deadly and equally effective for India. But with Siraj and Akashdeep, don't you think that will be that's going to be an easier challenge for the Bangladeshi batters, specifically on day 5, because already we have seen bounce is not that much here. Off the wicket the ball is getting slow and the ball is already not doing anything off the wicket. So on that day, with just Ashwin there and Jadeja not being that effective, that sort of will become a problem for you then.
Maybe, but then you'll also have to see that if India do go on to have a good first inning score, then automatically the team that's going to be under pressure, that's not India. So
Yeah.
any which ways, you do have the firepower in bowling to bowl Bangladesh out
Yeah,
again.
Gulati, but then Bangladesh would not go after that win, then they know that just one day we just have to play that day out.
Yeah.
With them not having many spinners in their lineup at this point. So then it see again India, that's what I'm saying. Never did I say, not even at the beginning, that India might be under pressure in this test match or might end up losing. But again, it was about winning the test match, because again, see, right now we feel that like Harshit sir also mentioned, I also feel the same. WTC final looks all but certain for India, but you never know how things change, because what this would mean is that if this test match sort of ends in a draw, you firstly have to win all 3 test matches against New Zealand. Again, that is also not a guarantee. And then your fate will again land, will be in the hands when you go to Australia. There also you have a great record and everything, but at the end of the day, you're going to Australia, an Australian team that is really hungry to win against India. So all of these things will sort of come into factor. So I think it should have been, it still is, it's just that the team has a different thought process towards it. It's still about winning this test match, because however much we might think that it's very easy for India at this point, things can change any moment.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can take a few comments and then wrap things up. Yep. Okay, Akash has a comment that poor decision from Rohit to not play Kuldeep. I think Shashwat would agree with it.
No, I wouldn't say. See, I wouldn't say a poor decision. I just feel it was now I wasn't I did not have this thought during the toss, but now I just feel after as the day progressed that it was more of a defensive move maybe in the hindsight. Definitely to begin with, it seemed like an attacking move that you wanted to get rid of the Bangladesh side early on, but yeah, definitely now it sort of seems like a defensive move, because maybe
35 overs. I'm not going to say it's defensive.
Yeah, absolutely. I think India have been right on the money. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Had that been 107 for 5, obviously things would have been
lost
different.
just, 1 wicket, maybe you could have then questioned, but again you'll take this 35 overs.
See,
but still pretty much even.
But again, see, in Chennai, it was understandable that you wanted to bowl first there, because the wicket was such and you were expecting it to just get better and better, be it like a typical Indian wicket. There, when Rohit said that he wanted to bowl first, there it was understandable. But here, Harshit sir, why I'm saying, I just remember that WTC final where you did not take the wicket into account, you took the weather over.
So you were wrong, because you were carried away by 1 hour of
here I know that
the Indian team, and Rohit will be wrong if over the next couple of days the forecast goes exactly
opposite.
180 degrees from what is projected right
but
now.
Again,
but because we'll be the same people to then question why did you not take into consideration.
No. I'll tell you what. See, I'll tell you what. In India, I personally would not even see again. I'll just give you an example. If you're playing in the Chennai that we expect it to be, the black soil Chennai, if you expect it to be, where it's a turner and all of that. There, if the conditions are overcast, you'll still go with 3 spinners and you'll still want to bat first, thinking that the help that the fast bowlers are going to get, that's just for the maximum at max till the ball is new. after that, that will just wear out. That's exactly the case here also, because the past record, it's been a good batting wicket. It's never been sort of a rank turner, or it's never been too helpful for fast bowlers. So on such a wicket, just because I just feel that it's just the weather that you have taken into consideration.
It's a big consideration, Sashwat.
No,
Yeah,
but
it's a very big consideration.
No, not more than the wicket. See, because the weather again you saw today in India, the weather would not play that much.
Seen from the wicket, if you were wicketless by now, I would have understood your argument. If they had only picked up one wicket, I would then have understood your. If the number of times that we saw them struggle against the seamers and be beaten on the outside, I would then have understood your argument. But
that we see that them getting beaten by the outsiders and all of that. No. That we see in Test cricket in general also.
But if it's that easy to get behind the line of the ball,
no. That we saw with the Indian batters also again, Nayadrana, and that is part of Test cricket. That's exactly what, because everyone wants to play much closer. You do not see that in white ball cricket much more often, because it's not about that way. Yeah.
I'm saying if it were that easy, then how many times you won't be seeing the batter.
But Harshit sir, it's at the end of the day it's swinging anyways, na, because it's the new ball. As the day progressed, you started seeing this role of Ashwin more, and you started seeing the Bangladeshi batters also sort of get the bat on the ball much more. What I'm trying to say is that from the wicket, there is no as such help that you needed such a combination. Are you understanding that? That's what I'm trying to get. According to the weather, yeah, definitely. But as soon as the ball gets old, and because the weather in general is like that, it's also a lot humid over there. It's not just the cloud.
Humid?
Yeah, it's a lot. It's really humid there.
It is.
That also sort of indicates that it's the swinging conditions. It's not going to swing that much just because of the cloud cover, because of the humidity also. So all these things also I think should have been taken into consideration. And I just feel that it was sort of, you should have batted. I'm saying even the going in with 3 fast bowlers is fine, but you should have batted. Just seeing,
I find it hard that that India got it wrong. I'll tell you why. Because the cricketing brains that we have at the moment, I wonder if this would have been a call that they get it wrong, especially at home. You to get it wrong at Lords, you still understand. But I don't think of, and also these instances of India bowling 3 seamers are far and few between at home. In Chennai, you saw that happen after a long time. This time as well in Kanpur, you've seen that happen after a long time. Let's also try and point out what is it that Wasim Jafar has to say. Since we're talking about that, he says that understand the logic behind keeping the same team, but can't help and feel for Kuldeep. Unlucky to be missing out. Playing in front of home crowd.
Yeah.
See,
I think
nobody's saying that he's not down on luck. He's such a quality guy. But Wasim Jafar pretty much extending the thought that we have as well at the moment, that there is logic behind going for the same team.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that also if you want to stick with a winning combination. See, had the weather been fine for all 5 days of the test, clear skies, sunny weather, definitely Kuldeep would have been preferred.
Absolutely.
I'm saying even if you're going with 3 fast bowlers, I'm not even getting to that now. I think that's done, that's over. All I'm saying is that you should have batted first, keeping in mind that you wanted to, especially when you know that with so much short time you have to bat just one.
But Sashwat, why would I, again, the best bowling conditions, why would I give it to the opposition after winning the toss?
Yeah, absolutely.
We saw what they did, this guy, Hassan Mahmood. We saw what he did in Chennai. So yeah, why would I want to give the opposition any sort of a chance to build inroads?
And the ball was still swinging around in the 30th over too. So any which ways, I don't think it was a bad decision at all.
I want to make the most of those. I will not put myself into trouble by giving the best conditions to bowl across 5 days. If there were any ideal conditions to bowl, they were day 1, day 2, given the overcast conditions. I would want to make the most out of those conditions and give those best conditions to my bowlers or the opposition after winning the toss.
But again, test. It's also about the whole test match. Also, you tell me.
You lost 3 wickets.
You tell me as a captain. As a captain, if you know you have to bat once, leave alone the condition and everything, you would want to bat first. right? So that you get
No,
those.
I will look into consideration everything.
No, then
Why will
again
I-
they'll also have, see again what if this, see if this goes against India, they end up scoring 300 odd runs in the first innings itself. Then there's no chance of you batting just once. Then you have sort of taken that out of the picture. But as soon as you would have gotten those many runs on the board, you were very well in the
300
game.
runs, the match is not getting
No,
over
300.
in one innings.
No. If I'm saying if Bangladesh get 300 odd runs, then India cannot end it in one innings. Is what I'm saying.
In the best bowling conditions, would you have scored 300 runs on day one? Perhaps not.
Yeah.
Maybe you two would have struggled. If they can, in not so in conditions, yes, the pitch was aiding the seamers back in Chennai, but there wasn't any aerial support. But with aerial support now, what is to
But
say?
there-
and even then,
but the
I
wicket
lost
wasn't
6
assisting
wickets.
here.
And even then I lost 6 wickets in the first 2 sessions. What's to say that the same could have not happened over here?
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying that's why you chose to bowl first, because you were not sure about your batting itself. Yeah.
In the best bowling conditions, I want to bowl. Why would I want to bat?
Because that would have helped the larger perspective of the test
It doesn't
match.
work that way. Come
But-
on. It doesn't work that way.
Okay. Let's just move on. Shivam, can we scroll up? Yeah. Priyanshu has a comment that I just hope enough cricket happens in the next 2 days that result is possible in the final 2 days. Scoring quickly at run rate of 4 plus would be tough on this pitch. Absolutely. I think, but then you'll also have to see, how much, Bangladesh, getting in the first innings, would be good for you, to be honest, because if Bangladesh can score anywhere about, as Bhalla I think also said, around 250 or 300, then it's going to be tough for India, because then you'll also have to make sure that how much aggressive cricket you really play. Let's say, if India lose a couple of wickets early on, then do you still, go for your runs, or
No,
you
then
still,
you
hold fort?
Again, this rains really, spoiled things for India over here. And the approach, they may have something in mind right now. Depending on how much there is rain intervention going forward, I think India will have to keep changing their course.
Yeah.
They went in with a certain mindset today. Then you lost on precious game time. If Bangladesh are to get those many runs, anywhere between 250, 300, then India's approach towards the test match changes completely.
True. DP has a comment that I totally agree with the lineup and bowling first. Expecting bowlers to bowl 120 overs on the trot to bowl Bangladesh out twice doesn't make sense. Also, Bangladesh plays spin better. I think you also maybe wanted to have that element of surprise if you wanted that. That's why you probably had 3 seamers.
But it'll be
early on.
very interesting, while we may disagree right now, but it's interesting, going to be interesting whether or not spinners do have that kind of an impact on this match or not, because Bangladesh totally believe that spinners will have a larger say as against what India feels.
Yes.
So the jury's still out. It is again.
So if Bangladesh end up winning, see, I think even a draw would be a sort of a victory.
No.
I'll tell you why.
With this
Even
rain-
yesterday.
With this rain, no.
No, even yesterday we talked about this thing that, see, during the preview when we were talking about this thing, I said this yesterday also, that if it is a shortened game, it would be Bangladesh who are under pressure, because if Bangladesh was standing any chance to win this test match or draw this test match, that was only if the game would have lasted for 5 days, because in 3 days it's only India who can sort of dominate them and win this game, because as soon as it's a 3-day test match, they'll sort of be on their back foot and India can sort of dominate that. So what I feel is, if this game ends, because India, last game also they ended in 3 days, 4th day, early on 4th day. So if this game ends up in a draw after 3 days of full play, like 90 overs and then 90-90, like 90 in 3 days, and then 90 overs in 2 days, then I think Bangladesh would be pretty happy with themselves.
Yeah, possible. Vaibhav has a comment, has a question. In fact, is Virat getting 100 here? His prediction is that it seems tough, but what about you guys? I think he's getting a good 80 odd, but not 100.
Even I think 100 is still about maybe a test match or 2 away, or maybe an innings or 2 away.
Yeah.
I don't see that 100 coming in this innings, and if there is only one innings for him.
Yeah,
I doubt.
true. I don't think that India will obviously have 2 innings to bat here.
Yeah, the more this test match and the more this rain continues, I don't think India batting twice.
True. Shashwat?
Tough.
Okay. I think we'll take just one more comment and okay. Mritank Shukla has said, and a sunshine in Kanpur as soon as the day is called off. Maybe I think it rained. It was basically a heavy downpour at that end, and I think it has rained for about a good an hour or so. So that's why I think maybe the ground staff was pretty much sure that they wouldn't really be able to get the things ready in the next maybe 1.5 hours or so as to resume the play there. So yeah, that's where. The thing is, I think Priyanshu, I think just one last comment that Virat 100 at Chinnaswamy, and obviously it's one of the venues for the New Zealand Test matches, and Rohit at Mumbai. Okay, so that's about it. Anything else you guys have to say?
I'm good.
Okay, so we'll be back with more updates and latest stories from across the sporting globe, and obviously the latest updates regarding the weather and the India versus Bangladesh Kanpur test, and obviously the things that are going around the Shakib Al Hasan saga, whether he'll get that security or not for the desired finish that he wants to have in test cricket. So stay tuned to Sports Today, but until then, it's goodbye.